106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Anybody know where that comes from?
Blues
Brothers.
I love that. I was afraid I was the only one going to be old enough here to know that movie. But that line I just used, that was from Elwood Blues in the movie The Blues Brothers. He's describing a road trip. I love road trips. I, along with my family, have taken road trips all over North America and in Europe. Road trips, wonderful thing. But sometimes in our quest for a great experience, we go too far. Just a little, maybe try a little too hard. And so I want to describe a road trip that I took this summer on the Alcan Highway. It might have been a little too far. Is anyone familiar with the Alcan Highway? The Alcan Highway is from Alberta, Canada to Alaska. It starts in Alberta, Canada, 1,500 miles in a 2-lane road. 200 of those miles are undulating. You know what undulating? Undulating is tiny little hills and valleys. In the case of the Alcan Highway, it's caused by permafrost freezing and refreezing below the road. Well, that part of that 200 miles, the top speed is 30 miles an hour on the road. So this trip that I was on this summer, I was with my brother and my cousin, and while I'm old for this group, I was the youngest member of our 3-person party, and I was treated like the youngest member, I'll assure you. I slept in the back seat of the truck while they had better accommodations, really great accommodations, in a camper that was sitting on the vehicle. And that would have been okay, other than the wonderful weather that we experienced. Weather was great. It was the end of June, 1st of July. The sunlight. I was cursing the sunlight at 11:30 at night. Sunlight came back up. At 1:30 in the morning, the sun was rising again. I couldn't sleep. But, the scenery. I can talk about experiences from the trip, which I'd like to do. The scenery, amazing. And there was wildlife on both sides of the road. Constantly wildlife. I think they like it's open on each side of the road, maybe obviously, and the wildlife goes that way because it's easier, I guess. What do I know about wildlife? But we stopped in one place and saw a grizzly bear mom and twin cubs right outside the vehicle. Didn't get out of the vehicle. For 20 minutes, watched them. They never acknowledged our presence. They were eating, playing, whatever it was they were doing. We were part of their world, and yet we weren't. One thing about the trip that I will not forget, mosquitoes. When you did exit the vehicle and stop, the mosquitoes, and these were B-52 mosquitoes, they're not lower 48 mosquitoes. They descended upon you upon opening the vehicle. Continuing along, arriving at the border. So we're in 65 miles from Tok, Alaska, on the Canada-Alaska border. This is in the woods, I'll assure you. 65 miles away is a town of 1,200 people, the largest city in the area. And yet, when you arrive at the border, it's like you're at O'Hare. There are 5 border control agents meeting the vehicle, and they search the vehicle, and I think these people, they lived on whatever they took out of the vehicle. They took oranges, they took firewood. Why our government chooses to protect this border at this location in such a extreme way, I don't know. Maybe it's a terrorist entry point, who knows? So, continuing, wonderful trip. Can't say enough about the good parts of the trip. It was just too far. as we neared Anchorage, finally got back to cell phone, internet coverage, I busily used my super cell phone that I had missed terribly for a week and booked a flight out of Anchorage because there was no way that I was going to drive back to where we had come from. The trip was just too far for me. So this trip, while I love road trips as I talked about, it is so far that I think in a lot of ways this trip is more extreme than the trip Elwood Blues described in the great movie The Blues Brothers. Thank you.